Is well and had a great new year coming in. So, wow, life has been busy. So, we're going to dive right on into today's topic. And hey, when I tell y'all, it's something to chew on. Okay, it's a little food for you. And here we go. We're talking about says, life will work for me when I realize every decision I make is based on every other decision I have made. Now, that ain't the end of it. Which is based on everything that has ever happened in my life. Okay, chill on that. I'm gonna read it again though. It says, life will work for me when I realize every decision I make is based on every other decision I have made, which is based on everything that has ever happened in my life. And then, with that being said, it's like it says, are you paying attention? Are you aware of what you do? Are you paying attention to the results you get? Are you paying attention to what you feel? When was the last time you took stock of what is really going on around you? Are you paying attention to what you do? Or are you just doing what comes naturally, habitually? And those are some great questions. Because like we go through, let me say, I go through day-to-day events of just doing because I know that's what, I got this to do, I got that to do, I got this to do. And I don't really give a whole lot of stock or pay attention to what I'm feeling. Because one is like, I know what it is I'm doing, but am I really paying attention to what I'm doing, how I'm doing it? And then it goes on to say, are you paying attention to what you say, what you mean, and to what you expect once you have spoken your mind? Are you paying attention to how you feel when you wake up, what you expect to feel as you move through the day? Are you paying attention to what happens based on what you expect? Are you aware of how you feel? No. Are you aware of how what you expect makes you feel? Right. Okay. Or how it motivates what you do? Are you paying attention to how you smile in any given day? Or how long you have been holding back tears? Are you paying attention to whom and what you give your attention? What you expect to get? And what you actually do get in return for the attention you give? Are you paying attention to what life is saying to you? Are you paying attention? Are you paying attention to what your living feels like? Or are you living mindless, missing the details of who you are? What you do and how it all makes you feel. Until today, you may not have been paying attention to the details in the moment by moment experiences of life. Wow. Just for today, pay very close attention to what you are doing and how you are feeling. Write down every little detail of what you discover. Then you will know to what and whom you have been giving most of your attention. Then you will have all that is required to make the necessary changes. Today, I am devoted to paying attention to every little detail of my life. You know, that right there in itself is really good. It was a good topic for me because I've had some experiences over the last couple of days, and got a whole lot of them to come for the following week. That it's like, am I really paying attention to what I'm doing? Am I paying attention to how I'm doing it? And I'm paying attention to the decisions that I make today. Are they based and grounded in things that has happened in my life or other decisions that I have made? You know, one of the things that I can really connect with is like the decisions that I've made for my life today have been some of the things that I've always longed and wanted for, and like getting married and buying a house, and sharing my space up close and personal with somebody else. And I always thought that I did, yeah, that's what I want. That's the dream to have. But I had to realize, like, really, how am I going to share that space? How am I going to intertwine my life with this other individual? What decisions am I making to better? Am I making decisions to better myself, or am I making decisions to better us? Because it ain't just about me anymore. And I was just talking to one of my coworkers a second ago about making some decisions concerning my son. And I know y'all have heard me a couple of times on here talking about my son and the situation that there are some things that has happened to my son. As a mother and being protective, I want to go suit up, boot up, and show up, and I lived that life a while back ago. But to make those decisions now is like, I want to take a long drive and go show up, and then hope and praying that by the time I get there that my mind or my decision has changed. But then the other side of that brain says, you done made this trip. I know you ain't came all this way to change your mind about doing what you said you're going to come here to do. But the reality of it is like, it's once more and again, get out of God's way and ask for guidance, and I had to ask myself, how many decisions have I made in my life based on everything that has happened to me in my life? One of the things I came up with is like, I became very promiscuous based on being molested at an early age. Because in my mind, I said, I'm getting revenge. Are y'all okay, you're going to pay for it. And you can't, now you ain't taking it, I ain't giving it away, but you're going to have to pay for it. I based that decision on being molested. But the reality of it was really based on feelings of unworthiness or damaged goods. Because I used to say I was damaged goods a lot. And I don't know where that term came from, but that's what the term that I use and how I identify myself as damaged goods. But it was based on some decisions that I made at an early age to cope with the molestation. Just to have to go back and think. I have a coworker with me tonight, Scott. He's sitting over there being quiet. He ain't chiming in yet. And then one of my buddies, Rodney, he ain't chimed in yet either. But at any rate, if you out there, check in with me. Let me know you're here. At any rate, the topic once more and again, as I said, is like, life will work for me when I realize every decision I make is based on every other decision I have made, which is based on everything that has ever happened to me in my life. That's a hard, sometimes, when we look at life, when I look at life, I have the part that is reality, that is showing up right here and right now. And then there's the part that I've lived, like my past. And then life is another part of where I'm going, you know. And when I look at, is life working for me? You know, how am I showing up in it? You know, and today I need to say that life is working for me. And it ain't bad. You know, because I got some great things going. And let me just once more again say I got a great job. I mean, I love my job, y'all. Like for real, I love my job because it gives me the opportunity to interact with people that just like me that may be in the moment of a struggle. And these are struggles that I've been through that I can help with my lived experience and help them in some ways of getting better for within themselves. So I'm really grateful for the job that I have, and I show up on my job. But my life, based on the decisions that I made to change my life, I where I'm at today. You know, a little over about 3 years ago, I made a decision to change the way that I was living. And that decision there was based on some other decisions that I had made, like using, being promiscuous, just like being this Billy badass, or so I told myself that's who I was, and in all actuality, and you know I wasn't. I did some bad stuff, but then that make me be a Billy badass, you know. But I can go back to being that person at any given moment if I make that decision. You know, today I am about making decisions that work for me so that my life will work for me under the guidance of a power greater than me. You know, because I didn't get here by osmosis or just by being. I had to do some work, you know, and all the time the work ain't easy to do. You know, when you have to dig deep and look at the bad decisions that you have made. Let me say, when I look at the bad decisions that I have made, um, as well as some decent decisions that I made and some good decisions, you know, all the decisions that I make in my life ain't bad ones. You know what I'm saying? I made some pretty good decisions. That's like, hey, check this out. The best decision that I made in my life 3 years ago was to stop using. And from that point on to this point, I have accomplished some things. I'm embarking on new journeys, like getting married. I get married next week. You know, this time next week, I'll be a married woman. Okay. Look, I'm grateful. This time right here, next week, I'll be a married woman, you know, based on some decisions that I made. And let me say that this ain't my first marriage. But my first marriage was, I decided to do it because I had been molested and I needed a way to get out of the house. So I was like, shit, I got married at an early age. I got married at 14. Now, and I made the decision, and just think about that. What 14-year-old child have a clear mindset to make a decision to say, oh, I'm going to get married and live happily ever after? Or I'm getting married to get away, to get out. You know, but it was a way out for me. You know, everybody don't get to make that same decision, but it was a way out for me. But based on those decisions that I made way back then, brought me to where I'm at right here, right now. You know, have the journey been peaceful, easy? No, not all the time. You know, but for the most part, it has been worth it. I thank God for the experiences that has led me to where I'm at right now. You want to comment on? You got anything you want to say about that, Rodney?
I think of like decisions, good or bad, like column A, column B, column D stands for bad choices. And I'm grateful because I got column C also, all of these above. But I've been talking that a lot around here at PIN, and a lot of in today in Jane's class, I mentioned that, and Jay introduced something that was more interesting. You just choose column C. She said, "I choose column J, column Jane."
Okay,
Right?
okay.
Yeah. Colin James. My case, Colin Rodney, Colin R.
Mm-hmm.
I picked like what Rodney was feeling.
Okay.
All right. Good or bad, I wanted to be popular, so, I could choose to be with the popular kids, do what the popular kids do. And then, most of it was like experimenting with marijuana, drinking, girls, going to, cops to other schools, you know what I'm saying? And then we would drink wine, and then we would go to the dance, We show up, because I guess we weren't like comfortable in our personality. So we had to do something to bring us,
make us be somebody that's not comfortable in our own skin. So we wanted to disassociate ourselves. Yeah.
Say something willy-nilly, and not be conscious of the consequences of it. Okay. What we say,
Yeah.
Really not thinking into it, just thinking off the top of our head.
Right.
And this what if I did not make a choice, and I did not choose column A, column B, column C, or column R, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I wouldn't be making choices, so I would like be shut down. That's what I think, maybe I was thinking I should be dead or, don't talk, cause you know what I'm saying? Yeah, try to be invisible, Not making no decision, really. I don't feel like that's no kind of life.
Right.
It ain't learning, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even the bad choices, even the call R, the riding choices, at least I was in there learning, And, it's a sad moment when you don't want to learn. You don't have no hope. You don't shoot for nothing. You know what I mean? Because you don't fall down and pick yourself up. You be, I guess you just think you call yourself a victim there,
Okay.
You be playing the victim.
Okay. Right? And I did that a whole lot. I've been I played the victim role from the time the first really bad thing ever happened to me in my life. I became a victim from that point on until I did some work and I was no longer a victim. And then one of the things that I realized in that situation, Rodney, was some of the decisions that I made and that I really wasn't a victim. I was a volunteer. I volunteered for some of that. I volunteered for a lot of that, based on some of those decisions, getting to a place where I can make healthy, sane decisions for my life has not been easy. It hasn't been easy, and sometimes, some of it comes quicker for others and slower for some, I don't regret that it's taken me as long as it's taken me to get to a place where I can make sound, good decisions for myself. And even sometime now, let me just be real, transparent, and honest. When I'm unsure, I run it by some of my people because, like, I have a top 5. the top 5 go-to, you know. And when I got something, like I was just sitting here running something across somebody a minute ago about something I want to decide to do, but let me say off the top in my head, I know it's wrong. I know I ain't got no business doing it, but I still ran it across somebody. You know what I'm saying? But I have a top 5 go-to people that when I am not sure about the decision or the thoughts that's running through my mind, I run it by them, because at any moment I can be insane and make some unrealistic, crazy ass decisions, not realizing what the outcome or how I'm really feeling, because in that moment I'm feeling a certain kind of way. So that's why I decided to do what I done. You know, and then once it's done, then I got another feeling going on, and that is not a good feeling. It's like, so I need to pay attention. Check this out. If I pay attention to me and what I'm putting in, I can easily pay attention to what's coming out. Because if I'm putting good in, I'm going to get good out. If I monitor those that are around me, what type of energy they got, and how their energy is bouncing off of them or coming from them, and how that reflects me or affect me, then I have a decision to make. Like, do I want to continue to be in the presence of those type of people, or that individual in particular? It don't, you know, it just you know, it ain't like it's a set group of people that I'm drawn to. But I would like to believe that if I want to be a business owner, then I need to hang out with like-minded people. If I want to be successful, I need to hang out with successful people. You know, if I want to be healthy, I need to hang out with healthy people, and do healthy stuff. Like, I got back into the gym this year. You know, the first of the year, I got back into the gym. And it has been a freaking struggle. Going to the gym when I get off from work. But what I know is that I'm paying attention to my body, and I want to be healthy. So I decided eating a little more healthier, and I hang around people that's going to the gym and that's eating healthier and doing healthier stuff, you know. So I had to, like, you know, one of the, I guess not so much as one of the things, but sometimes we don't always pay attention to the decisions we make. Let me say, I don't always pay attention to the decisions I make. Sometimes I just do. It's just like rapid fire. Do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. Not giving a whole lot of thought to the decisions that I'm making. Not paying attention to who they may affect. Not just in the moment, but down the line. How they gonna affect me down the road, you know. So I really am, like, when I read this a little while ago, or actually I read it earlier this morning, but to reiterate and go back over it, to read it again, and it just had me thinking. It's like, how is life working for me? You know, as it says, life will work for me when I realize that every decision I make is based on every other decision I have made. You know, so if I stay consistent in making good decisions, everything else that happens in my life will be good, because it goes on to say that which is based on everything that has ever happened in my life. So if I'm starting to make better decisions, my life gets better, you know, and I'm basing that on making those decisions based on everything that is happening. Like, having a good job, so I continue to prosper, you know, being kind and caring and loving to others. I'll keep receiving those things in life. Showing up when I'm supposed to, then somebody gonna show up for me based on the decision that I made to show up for somebody. You know, Scott, you got anything you want to say?
Well, I mean, I like the topic, and yeah, that is profound because it's talking about when we get to that point where we can look at everything, every decision that we have ever made, and where we're at now, and the decisions we make, and that's what they're based on. That's profound. It's you have to pause for a minute and rethink and say that a few times to get it, and because I say that all the time, and I'm trying to live it, but we are a product. Our thoughts are what become our reality. Our thoughts become our reality. Everything that we see that is real, that is our reality, were once thoughts, and someone, it's just so powerful. And so yeah, I mean, it takes work for me, but I'm trying to do the next right thing and follow that with the next right thing, and that includes trying to have the next right thought and the next right action. The next right thing to say sometimes is nothing.
Right.
So yeah, I'm working on that.
Okay.
I agree with a lot of what y'all have been saying, because it takes action, right? I mean, it ain't about taking no more. It's about what action you put in. When someone give you a choice, give you back a choice to choose something when you think you was hopeless, you ain't had no choices. This is the end. I ain't got nothing else to do, bro. But when someone offers you a suggestion, right, then you got to put it in action just to see where it falls. If it's good for you, if it ain't good for you, So, the action you put in, that's your result. Like Scott say, sometimes, you ain't got to say that. You need to listen, right? And that's where a lot of people fall in, try to say how help need to help them. How they gonna tell help how to help them?
Okay.
Right. Yeah, you gonna tell help how to help.
Yeah, I'm asking for some. Yeah, I'm asking for some help, but I'm gonna tell the help how to help me.
Right.
Yeah, that makes no sense at all. Cause if I'm gonna tell you how to help me, then why do I need some help? I don't need no help. I don't need no help. Okay, there was a plan to what? Playing the victim. Yeah, okay, I get it. And like I said earlier, originally I started out as a victim, but I stopped being a victim, became a volunteer for a lot of that stuff. For a lot of decisions that I made, I volunteered and signed up for this shit. And what I realized at the end of the day, good, bad, or indifferent, I have the opportunity and the chance now to make better decisions, put out better help or receive better help, and surround myself with more like-minded people on the decisions of where I want my life to go or what I want my life to look like. I was just sharing here a second ago. I'm in the process of buying a house, and I think I think we found that house. But I want to put a hammock in my backyard, so I can go lay in my hammock up under the trees, up under the stars, or whatever, and with a book or some coloring pencils, or just be in. But that's an envision that I have. But I got that from being around somebody else, and we're visiting their house, and they have a hammock, they got a fish pond in their backyard, and first thing they said, don't fuck with my fish, because it was a big old pretty catfish. I'm like, man, let's fry him up. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, those are the kind of things like, I had to say, like, can I imagine myself having a hammock in my backyard? Hell, I didn't even think I was going to ever be able to have a house. I thought I was going to be in an apartment for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? I started out in an apartment 1,000 years ago, but I didn't ever dream about having a home, you know, of my own. You know, I was always visiting other people's homes, and living with somebody else, you know. But to be in a position in a position to get my own, oh yeah, I was like, oh shit, yeah, this is right up my alley right here. So I started surrounding myself with like-minded people, and I asked for help, and I don't tell help how to help me today. You know, I have some people, like I said, my part of my top 5. I got people in my life that they call me on my BS. You know, when they know I'm bullshitting, they call me on it. But they feed me too. When they have exciting new things going on in their life, they was like, oh, look, check this out. This is what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? That gives me hope and motivation to be able to succeed in some of the stuff that I see myself reach my goals, you know, because I'm surrounding myself with like-minded people. Like-minded people, you know. We have anybody out there in my community check in with us tonight, and that's okay. Peace, love, and happiness. And with that, we're gonna close. And until the next time, until we meet again, have a great weekend. And I'll see you guys when we meet again. Good night.